You know, to me, the journey is half the adventure. And you know what? When you come out here and you see things like this beautiful creek, this river running down through here, it makes the journey so much better. So, you know, we always want to take our time, show you guys everything that we see, and just enjoy it together. Hey friends, today we start our adventure in the Great Smoky Mountains. We're on our way to Cades Cove. You can see, as usual, we've already found a waterfall. So what do you think, Miss Leila? You ready to get to Cades Cove and see what we see? All right, we're gonna head that way.
Okay.
Guys, Miss Leila and I have made it to Cades Cove. We've stopped here at the information center. Well, as many times as we've come to Cades Cove, we've never stopped just to see what's here. So there's a park ranger up here assisting guests, and we're going to go in and look over some of the information and see what they have here today. So here at the front they have this bulletin board. It's got information about all the wildflowers that's in Cades Cove. The correct name, bulletin board here with all kinds of information, emergency things, park rules, water hazards, information, a map, which the guide that we brought has that map in it. Very interesting to find specific areas in Cades Cove. Bear awareness. We always want to caution people about approaching bears. That is a no-no. A vibrant community. If you've ever read any history on Cades Cove, it's quite interesting. If you haven't, I would encourage you to. You'd be surprised what you'll find out about how Cades Cove became populated, and a little bit on how that the people lived during that time period. Plenty of wildlife. Another sign, today. You have one from yesterday and today. Another small map. And then they've also got this stationary map now where you can see it better with the whole Cades Cove loop. And all the different stops. The horses neighing. This is a beautiful part of Cades Cove. Oh boy, yes. Oh, Mr. Horse has come to see us here. They like people. They're used to people. They're very safe to ride. Afraid? Are you, Mr. Horse? Are you afraid of people? Huh? Are you afraid of people? No. You're gonna get your nose rubbed. Oh, yes. nose rubbed. Oh, boy. My little horses and friends over here. They're just gathered up, wondering who's brought food. And that better be nobody. Yes, yes. Pretty, well kept, beautiful pasture. If I was a horse, I wouldn't mind to live here at all. Would you, Mr. Horse? Huh? Would you mind to live here? No, I don't think you do. No, I don't think. I never get tired of coming to Cades Cove, seeing the beautiful horses here at the front of the loop to greet you. Beautiful example of God's creation. The goldenrods are in full bloom in the fields. Instead of green grass, it's just yellow blooms. Very beautiful. Donation box for the bears. Donate here. You can make a difference today. I like to see these signs up in the cove. You know, everybody that comes up here wants to see a bear. I mean, that is a primary concern when you come to the cove. But you know, to help keep these bears maintained and safe, it takes money. And I know the national park gets money to do that, but it takes everybody's help to do that. So I'm really happy to see these signs, and I encourage you to take part in this wonderful experience, especially if you've ever seen a bear or you're coming expecting to see one. It's just a great time to do something about it. Okay, we're coming to the John Oliver place. We've got our tour guide out, and we're going to open that up and show you guys what it looks like. It's got all the stops in it. The first stop that we're going to come through, we've already stopped at the orientation shelter. We stopped to see the horses, which isn't actually on the map. But we're at the John Oliver place. So we're going to hike up here, just past Sparks Lane, and look at the John Oliver place with you. Now you have to take the trail on up to the cabin. All right, Miss Leela and I are leaving the car here in the parking lot. And we're headed up to the cabin. Miss Leela and I took the Daniel Boone Trail, which is actually the original trail, but they do have a paved path from the parking lot up to the cabin. So if you have handicap issues or just don't feel like walking the rugged trail, then you can come on the paved path and get up here too. But the John Oliver place is one of the first places, as I mentioned earlier, that was settled in the cove. And this has got a little bit of information on it if you want to stop the video and read some of that. We're going to go on up to the cabin here and take a look at it. Very basic construction. You notice it's a two-story cabin. A lot of them in the cove are two-story. Their families were very large. A lot of times parents, grandparents, the kids would all share the same house. So it isn't uncommon at all to see upstairs and downstairs, stacked stone chimney, put together with clay, just like the logs on the building. A lot of times they use the same clay. It's called chinking in the middle, and they keep the air and the wind and the coolness out. And there's the welcome mat, a flat river rock. The cabins were all built out of logs. They didn't have any sawmills or any way to machine them into boards or any other thing at that time, so they just used the hand tools they had to make them. Again, you see the handmade fireplace, a couple of Three River rocks for a hearth. Low ceiling made it easier to heat and to build. And then the upstairs. Come out the back door there. That's what the back of the house would look like. Just a split rail fence to keep the animals out. So the John Oliver cabin, very basic. I'm sure it took him a while to build it, but all the resources was right here in the cove, and he raised several generations right here on this homestead. Well, we have seen our first bear, and he sees us. He's probably about 25, 30 yards away. He doesn't seem to be too interested in us, which is a good thing. So Miss Leela and I just saw our first bear in the edge of these woods back here behind us. He was in there foraging right on the edge between the field and the woods, and hey, you're never disappointed when you come to the park. Sometimes I think the Lord outdone himself when I look at some of these beauties in these mountains. It's just a glorious place. Just a beautiful day. And we are not the only ones that think so. Miss Leela mentioned that somebody is hiking down the side of the road and they're getting around faster than we are. Somehow I believe that to be true. Hello, Mr. Crow. Mr. Crow, Mr. Crow. How's your day going, my friend? Are you finding any morsels from anybody? Are you finding any morsels from anybody? No? Well, okay. Have a good day. Okay, we might get another shot at looking at this bear. This gentleman just showed us his picture out of this small camera he's using and lens, and it is amazing. I just love to see these professional photographers take these pictures and share their photos. It's just an awesome thing. Well, Miss Leila and I just saw our third bear of the day, and boy did he put on a show. He was about 20 yards maybe off the road, right in the edge of the cut grass, and man, we had a good time. We didn't get a lot of good footage because we don't have one of those large photography type cameras that some of these other guys does. But what'd you think of that bear, Miss Leila?
He was huge.
Having a good time. He's still down there in the edge of the woods. Okay, we've come up on the next stop. Primitive Baptist Church. Miss Leila and I have come up here to check this church out. Primitive Baptist Church, Miss Leila.
Yes.
This was the first Baptist church in the Cove.
Very primitive.
Very primitive. So let's go in and check this church out. What do you think?
Okay.
This is started out as a log structure, and in the early 1900s, when they started getting sawmills in here, they rebuilt it to what you see today as a frame-built church. Cades Cove Primitive Baptist Church, organized 18 and 27 on June the 16th. The cemetery in the back. We'll go look at that in a few minutes here. Yes. Primitive Baptist Church. This was originally the first church in the Cove. Got the Bible here. Now, according to the history I've been reading, they closed the church down during the Civil War. And then when they started it back up after the war, sometime down through history, they had a disagreement between the missions work that was going on and some of the members that didn't believe that the missions work should be going on. So some of the members went down the road and built the Missionary Baptist Church that we'll see later. And this one stayed the Primitive Baptist Church that you see today. But it is the oldest church located in the Cove. We're going to walk around here to the cemetery and look around. They won't let you walk out in the cemetery. They think that could be disrespectful, and I'm sure they don't want any of the tombstones harmed. A lot of them is very old and irreplaceable. If you watched our video on the Tuckaleechee Cove and Myers Cemetery, we see a Myers gravestone here, 1854, 1898, 1939. Now, a lot of people don't realize it, but when the National Park bought this, back I believe it was in the 1930s, they made deals with people that they could live here until they died. And a lot of these folks lived here up into the later 1900s. Okay, Miss Leila, just as I suspected, it looks like a picnic on the ground. There's so many people up in that field, and lo and behold, there he is. We don't have anywhere to park. This is the second time we've seen a bear at this location this year. So he's a resident. We're not going to try to stop. There's so many people here. But this is bear number 4 for the day. I know you can't see it, folks, but such an awesome thing. To get to see. When people first started coming into Cades Cove, this was the main road here at Rich Mountain Road. The road over in the National Park did not exist at that time. This was a trail that come in from Tuckaleechee Cove, and this was the main thoroughfare in and out. People that lived here, if they had to get medical help before they got doctors up here, they had to go back to Tuckaleechee Cove. If they sent their kids to school, before they had the schools up here, they would send them back to Tuckaleechee Cove to go to school. And a lot of times they would have to board them there. It would be boarding schools for these kids that lived up here in the area at Cades Cove. This road, as we know it today, is a one-way road. You cannot go back up. You have to go all the way through Tuckaleechee to Tuckaleechee Cove. So I thought that was pretty interesting history that I wanted to share with you. Now we're going to take a look at this Missionary Baptist Church, which is just across the road, and we're going to let you take a look at that with us. Here's a plaque for the Missionary Baptist Church of Cades Cove. Independent but not isolated. It actually shows them doing a baptism in a creek. John Oliver himself delivering the mail. Well, Miss Leila, Missionary Baptist Church in Cades Cove. This is the second Baptist church. You know, we talked over at the Primitive Baptist about them splitting because of missions. This is the second church. These here were active in missions work. They went along and got along, lived here in the cove together. So let's go see what it looks like inside.
Okay.
But again, it's a frame-built church. But according to history, it started out as a log structure as well. And then as time went on, they saw a need to go ahead and redo it too. A very large church, the largest of the 3. A little alcove here for the minister. Original windows. While I was still in the church looking around, Miss Leila took a walk up in the cemetery and was taking some video up there. When she got back down to the bottom of the walkway, out of nowhere came this black bear behind this dead stump. It really startled her, and to the point that she couldn't move and back away from it. This bear was too close. But she continued like a trooper to film it and got some amazing footage of this black bear. What I thought was funny is he adhered to the sign up there that says, "Please stay on the sidewalk." He walked all the way around that cemetery and stayed on the walking path. Even bears obey the rules in the Great Smoky Mountains.
Number 5.
Oh my goodness.
He come walking right by that stump by me. That woman down there said, "Ma'am, if I was you, I'd back up."
Okay, Miss Leila, between the bears and the traffic, we made it to the next stop.
Yes.
What stop are we here?
The Methodist Church.
Methodist Church. Okay. Well, we're going to go see if we can show our friends what's inside the Methodist Church here at Cades Cove.
Okay.
One thing different about this church, it's got 2 doors on it. And according to history, a lot of Methodist churches like this were made like this because the men would sit on one side of the church and the women would sit on the other. This church here in Cades Cove didn't practice that. The men sat with the women and their families, of course, but I thought that was pretty odd. So we go inside here. We see this one is a little bit bigger and well more finished than the Primitive Baptist Church that we just left. Still has the same old pews in it, wooden pews. Sometimes my posterior hurts from sitting in the padded pews at our church, but I can only imagine these people were glad to get to sit down a few minutes after the long week they had put in at work. It must have been a wonderful time. Again, we see behind the church here that they have cemetery, just like the one at the Primitive Baptist, where they buried their loved ones and families as one. Around this corner, the last time we was up here, we saw some deer. So I'm going to keep filming while we ease around through here. And we might be able to see some deer today, I don't know. You just can't be too ready in Cades Cove. Friends, that's going to do it today from beautiful Cades Cove in the Great Smoky Mountains. We just finished day 1. We're looking forward to coming back tomorrow and finishing the loop with you guys. So we saw some bears today. We saw some great Appalachian history. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in for day 2 of Cades Cove. Until next time.